Got my Doctor Strange tickets today.
Yeah, I'm trying to watch that show Moon Knight, and it's really weird.
Man,
My daughter's making me watch it with her.
my daughters love it. I haven't seen a single drop of it yet, so I can't say that I've liked nothing about it. So
You win for that. I started watching Batman today. I got like 2 hours through it, and I'll watch the last hour later tonight and tomorrow.
yeah, it is. It is kind of crazy. All right, and one. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. Let me turn this down. All right. And welcome everybody to another glorious episode of the Put On Raiders podcast. I'm your host, Dwayne Douglas, along with Ryan Holmes, and we are podcasting on the beautiful shores, the draft day shores of the Pacific Ocean, taking place in Vegas right now. Everybody's in the draft, so we said, why record a show and then post it, and everything is going to be all done. Let's just do a YouTube live. I know everybody's watching the draft, so that's fine. Our TPW podcast is my Twitter handle, and our HO. Why do I keep forgetting yours every week now? It's like embarrassing.
Our home 22.
As our home 22. Our home 22. Sorry, my bad. It's crazy. A lot going on with the draft. We I think we're 13 picks in as far as the draft goes. If you see our eyes drifting away, it's because we're watching the TVs in the background. As far as that goes, Ryan, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm wondering why the Rams didn't invite us to the draft house on the beach, since the Raiders aren't picking today and we don't have a lot of invested in to what's going on during the draft. We're kind of just watching it and trying to see what picks come in. But yeah, it's a little different not having a first round pick as a Raiders fan. So
yeah, I kind of wish that the NFL did a little WWE, right? And WWE would be like, at 22, have Davante Adams come up and say, with the 22nd pick, the Raiders select me, Davante Adams. The Green Bay Packers are on the clock. I mean, have some fun with it a little bit. But the last pick we have in right, you never know. The most recent pick we have now is Cal Hamilton. Will become a Baltimore Raven. So he's a Raven. So that's a good pick. He is very long, athletic, can do a lot of different things. Can cover, can hit, can tackle, makes up a lot of ground as far as his speed goes. Short, I mean, just can help you in the run game too. So he's a dynamic player, kind of fits what they want to do. Gets his hands on a lot of balls, so it should be fun to see what they do with that new defensive coordinator now in Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm not sure about the fit with that one because he doesn't run much. He's running like 4.6. It's more instincts. Can they keep him in center field where the instincts will play, or is he going to have to match up in man coverage? Is Mike McDonald going to bring as much blitzes as Wink Martindale did? If they do, and he's forced to play coverage in the slot, I think he can be exposed a little bit. But if they can keep him in center field and out of man-to-man coverage responsibilities, I think I have a chance to excel there. But it'll be interesting to see how they use him in the new defensive scheme.
First pick was Trayvon Walker. I mean, I think I kind of saw that coming just from just looking who the GM is. Like the GM is not hit. This GM is not gonna go. He's gonna go with the freakish athlete type. That's what he did with the Niners. Trent Baalke, and he went with Trayvon Walker, and then Aiden Hutchinson stays home. I guess he grew up 15 minutes away from the training facility out there in Michigan. What are your thoughts about the first two picks, Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of how we had it in our mock draft. Yeah. The Walker, it feels like a reach at one. It's hard to say that, but
yeah,
he's going to have to be productive, and he's going to have to be productive really fast to validate that pick. I like Hutchinson going to the Lions. I think he can step in and play right away and get you 8 to 10 sacks as a rookie. And I really like what they did at 12 to go up and get Jamison Williams. Right now, I'd say the Lions are winning the draft with the two guys that they were able to get, the Lions and Giants. Be interested to see what the Lions gave up to get all the way up to 12, but they don't have to rush Jamison Williams back. Yeah. They can literally just take their time and let him rehab because, Jared Goff's a lame duck this year. It's his last year under contract, and they're going to move on. So it'll be interesting to see if they pick a quarterback later in this draft. They're all still on the board. We're halfway through the first But yeah, I do like what the Lions have done, and I do like their pick at number 2.
And they have a last pick in this draft, right? At the end. So do they have a last
I
pick in
don't
the
know what they
draft?
gave up to get to 12. So
Oh
I
yeah, let
didn't
me check
see
right
that.
now. Oh, they're not. They're
They
not anymore. Not
yeah
anymore. It belongs to the Vikings. It belongs
yeah.
to the
So they
Vikings.
traded
So
up to
yeah, they
12. So
trade up. Yes,
I'm
what I was
assuming they
wrong.
gave the Vikings pretty good compensation to fall all the way down to 32.
Derek Stingley, the third pick, fantastic rookie season with the with LSU, and then kind of came back. They came back with some injuries. Surprised that he went over Sauce Gardner, or is this just more of a scheme fit? I'm not sure, but I've always talked about it at length. I love Sauce Gardner in this draft. I thought he was the best corner in this draft. Stingley is a guy who I think might. I've always think that might be a better pro than a college player, but picking him third and being this is Nick Caserio made the deal. Now everybody loves you because you got rid of the Deshaun Watson. Now he's on the clock for his decision making.
Yeah, this is another one where he's going to have to play well early in the first year or two to back that up. I love Sauce Gardner. And if you just line him up pure talent and you take the film away and you just line him up, you probably have Stingley slightly ahead of him talent wise. But the tape is so much better with Gardner. Yeah. And it's tough to take a guy at 3 when he has 2 years of pretty inconsistent tape and injuries. So Nick Casero's he's putting it on the line there with that pick, and he's going to have to play well. They're not going to be a good team next year. No. There's still a ton of question marks. So we'll see what happens in Houston. That's a tough pick to make. And then obviously they traded out of 13. So we'll see where they go. I think they're on the clock now at 15. See where they go with that pick.
Yeah. They went with Kenyon Green, offensive lineman from Texas A&M. So I heard a chuckle.
If you have 3 and 13 and you come away with Stingley at 3 and a guard at 15, I'm not liking that draft right now for the Texans.
We'll see. I do like what the New York teams did. I give the Jets and the Giants a whole bunch of stuff on Sugar Honey Iced Tea on Twitter sometimes, but I do like Sauce Gardner going to the Jets, going to Robert Saleh, and that defensive unit, and then Kayvon Thibodeau. I like him as a pass rusher. I think the fact that some people are saying because he has NFT, like he's into that kind of stuff off the field. People are giving him shots for that, but I do like him as a player. I watched a lot of them in the Pac-12. So he goes to New York to give him a little edge, to give him that edge rush that they need. And then Sauce Gardner, I mean, he's that length, that ability to play press coverage, which is something that a lot of corners don't do in college football.
Yeah, it's the best thing for Thibodeau is he's on a defensive line where he's not going to get double teamed. They have Leonard Williams, they have Elise Olajari, and they have Dexter Lawrence. So he's not going to be the focal point of the offensive line week in and week out. He's going to get manned up one-on-one, and he has the explosiveness off the edge to win. I could easily see him getting 10 sacks as a rookie, as long as those other guys stay healthy. Sauce Gardner at 4, they had to take him there because he was the last corner. They weren't going to get a corner at 10. Gardner wasn't going to make it to 10, so they had to take him at 4. They came back. The Jets took Garrett Wilson, obviously, at 10 to give Zach Wilson a wideout, and the Giants beefed up the line. They went with Thibodeau, and they came back with Evan Neal, who they can put in at right tackle, opposite of Andrew Thomas, who they took in the top. I don't want to say he went 3rd or 4th a few years ago. So they have to protect Daniel Jones. They didn't pick up the option on Daniel Jones, so this is a prove-it year for him. And I like what the Giants did. They attacked both offensive line and defensive line.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. I think the Giants also did not pick up the option for Daniel Jones. So the writing is on the proverbial wall there as far as that goes. Akeem Mkwanu goes to Carolina Panthers. I give the Panthers credit here. I thought that, don't force a quarterback. Because it's not a great quarterback draft. I thought they might force a quarterback here, but they went with an offensive lineman. They haven't taken an offensive lineman in the first round since I think 2013, which is like that's a long time.
Is that
like
Jordan Gross?
Yeah, I think that's a long time. That's a long time. I think you don't really see that a lot. So that's kind of interesting. And this is this channel is NFL with the Raiders, and then the college football with USC. I love Drake London. I'm kind of sad that he's going to the Falcons. I was kind of sad. I thought maybe if he went to New York with the Jets, it would be a better spot for him. But gives him a big target. He can also, do a lot of different things. He's his game speed. I think Amar Ra who was on the Bleacher Report talking about game speed. And I think a lot of guys have game speed. His game speed is tremendous. He had 88 catches last year, and he didn't play. He only played 8 games and had 88 catches. He had a really good year last year for USC, especially with their influx and everything going on with Clay Helton and that quarterback situation. But I do like him as a player. I do think once they get their pieces back, I'm not sure what's going to happen with Calvin Ridley, but they get Calvin Ridley back next year. Then you have Pitts and you have him. That's a pretty formidable team. If they're bad enough next year or this year to go out and get, a really good quarterback, that could be a possibility for a good young team coming up.
Yeah, I like the fit here with London because he can go inside and play as a big slot as well with the Falcons because they don't necessarily have a slot receiver with Russell Gage leaving to go to Tampa. And then you have Marcus Mariota in there. So they're going to do a lot of play action. He has Cordarrelle Patterson in the backfield, who's an exceptional receiver out of the backfield. You have Kyle Pitts out wide. You can throw London in. You can move both those guys around. I don't think it's going to be a top 10 offense by any means, but they should be able to compete and put up points in the NFC South and win some games. They're probably, looking at 6 or 7 wins, I would think, if the defense plays well. But it's a good pick for them. He can win in the red zone. And when they get down in the red zone, you have Pitts and London, or you could turn around and hand the ball to a Patterson who can break tackles. That's going to be tough to match up with.
Yeah, I do like that. And Janan Dotson from Penn State has just become a Washington, what was it, Commander? I guess Commanders come through with that one. So, they have another guy outside, and giving Carson Wentz some more weapons. Hopefully, he doesn't throw any left-handed passes to him because they'll be intercepted. Because he's the king of the left-handed pass, right? As far as that goes. Let's see here. Next to the next part.
I like Dotson. If you're a Commanders fan and you're picking at 11 and you came out of this draft with Dotson, are you happy with that? Because I wouldn't be. But I like him as a prospect, but not at 16. And they had the 11th pick, so we'll see what they do. I think they got a 3rd and a 4th from the Saints to move down. I don't like the value there at 16 for the Commanders.
Yeah. What about the value here at 9 for Charles Cross, an offensive lineman? Usually the Falcons. The Seahawks are a team who is, they are unpredictable in the draft, to say the least. But they have a glaring hole there at left tackle. Why not? Listen, the guy's there. There's gonna be a run on the offensive lineman at some point, and this is one of the best ones in college football. Why not grab one here at 9?
Yeah, so there was 3 big tackles, obviously, that they kind of separated themselves. Trevor Penning 4th, but there was a gap between Cross and Penning. And the Seahawks wanted to go out and shore up the offensive line. At that point, there was a run on the defensive backs, the defensive linemen as well. So he was the best player on the board at that point. They went ahead and took him. So it makes sense. Now, are they going to go into the season with Drew Lock? Because if they do, it doesn't matter who else is on that roster. They're going to win 3 or 4 games. So maybe they're setting themselves up for next year and building the line up and attack a quarterback in next year's draft. But you'd have to believe that they can't go into the season with Drew Lock. It's basically being handed the starting job. Maybe they go after Baker Mayfield. Maybe they go after Jimmy Garoppolo, although I doubt the 49ers deal him in the division. So we'll see what happens. The quarterbacks are not coming off the board in the draft, and there's still 2 that you can go get in trade. So it's going to be interesting to see who the first team is. The Pittsburgh Steelers are having this fall right in their lap. Like, all these quarterbacks are still there, and they pick at 20. So they're about 3 picks away.
Yeah. You mentioned about kind of what teams are doing, doubling up. I like what the Jets did. We talked about them and Lamar Gardner. I like Garrett Wilson. He's a really good, really outstanding receiver. You give your young quarterback an A+ weapon here as far as that goes. Garrett Wilson goes to the Jets, right?
Yeah, they needed a weapon for Zach Wilson. They need to figure out in the next 2 years what they have there and if they're going to pick up that 5th-year option. Clearly, they probably would have preferred an offensive lineman, but again, those top 3 guys were gone at that point. So you take the best wide receiver, and clearly he was the best one on their board. They would rather have a healthy Garrett Wilson than have to wait for Jameson Williams. I think Williams is the better prospect, but they probably wanted Garrett Wilson to get in the building, get reps in OTAs, get reps in training camp, build rapport with the quarterback. So that's clearly why they went with Wilson.
Yeah, I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. Olave, you're an Olave guy. I like Olave as well. What are some of the downsides you could see for Olave besides playing with Jameis?
Well, he's a
They
deep
should fit
threat, so
together. I
he
mean,
can
he
get.
throws the ball deep,
Yeah,
right?
he throws the ball
Go ahead.
deep. He can move inside. He can play in the slot. And they have Michael Thomas who can play outside, who's still there. So I think the separation skills, the quickness, getting in and out of breaks, and then the deep speed, and he's got really good hands. So the only
Mhm.
knock on him, I would say, is the size. But in the red zone, he has enough quickness to create enough separation. He's going to have to be pressed off the line of scrimmage if he's playing outside. But I think they can move him into a slot where he can get open. I, I like the pick there. I don't like trading up again to get him. I think they went up from 16 to 11, but clearly they felt that a team between 11 and 15 was going to take him. So they went up and got their guy.
So I'm gonna play a guessing game with you real quick. It's 17. The rival Chargers are on the clock right now. Who do you think they're gonna pick here? If you had to guess, right now they have
Yeah, I mean,
Linderbaum.
Brandon
You got
Staley's a
go
defensive
ahead.
guy. Jermaine Johnson is still there. You can
Yeah.
go get a pass rusher, but they have Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. Clearly, the defensive tackles off the board. Devin Lloyd, maybe they want to shore up the linebacking core. I
Mhm.
could see them going interior offensive line. Zion Johnson is still there. Um, so I would think that they're going to attack either linebacker or the offensive line here to help Justin Herbert. The wide receivers, again, there's not enough value here at 17. There's not enough as far as defensive backs. I don't think there's a corner at this point. So um, this is going to be interesting. Maybe they trade out of it. This didn't really
Yeah.
fall how the Chargers probably wanted it to because the
Yeah.
receivers are gone. Jordan Davis is gone. They so maybe I think if
What's
you're
the other
going to take
defensive?
best player available,
The the,
Jermaine
the, the,
Johnson,
the other defensive tackle who played in Georgia. What's his name again?
Devontae Wyatt.
Deontay Wyatt. Are they set at tackle here where they wouldn't want to grab him to
I mean, they could
maybe
take him here.
they can hear yeah. So I'm
I
thinking
mean,
maybe. Yeah, some people have like N'Kobe Dean or Traylon Burks going here possibly. I mean, I don't know what and it looks like they went with Zion Johnson, the
yeah.
offensive
So they
lineman.
went to the offensive line, which is
Yeah,
where I thought they would go. Clearly,
yeah.
they had him over Devin Lloyd. So they need to protect Herbert. Guard was an issue for them last year. Clearly, they have Slater. They have Corey Lindsey. Right tackle still an issue, but they can address that later on in free agency or slide some guys outside. But it's a good pick for them. Protect the quarterback. It'll help them run the ball too a little bit better. So
I'm interested to see how much they try to commit to the run next year. They have a team. They're a team that like wants to pass the ball a lot. Same thing with the Chiefs. They want to pass the ball a lot as well. So we'll see if they actually has any kind of commitment to the run game there. Um, let's see here. Commanders
yeah,
picks.
ESPN's just now showing the Commanders pick. So you're way ahead of me on Bleacher
What
Report or whatever you're
that's
watching it on.
listen. The Bleacher Report is. I'm telling you, the Bleacher Report. If you're watching the draft, if you want to get rid of, I mean,
Uh,
all the pop and circumstance of like where it is and all that stuff like that. Bleacher Report is way ahead. And then the funny thing about it is they're watching ESPN at the same time, and they tell you that the ESPN is like 4 picks behind us.
so you just go to the Bleacher Report website. I got my computer open.
Yeah, bleacherreport.com. Yeah, they do a great job. They do a great job. I can't say enough. Let's see here. And then,
I'm doing it right now.
yeah,
Big shout out to Bleacher Report.
Bleacher Report. Yeah, seriously.
Live draft. Here we go.
And let's see
It's got Richard
here.
Sherman and Amon St. Brown on it.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
I just got to mute it so you don't hear it.
Yep.
Do they show the picks on the button? Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, so I picked something about it. Yeah, so Johnson Bus. Yeah. So the pick is in for that one, and we have that. So the Eagles are on the clock now. So we'll see what happens with the Eagles there. We know they took the big guy out of Georgia, so we'll see there. So while we're in between picks, the Waller nothing bubble was out for a lot of people. Like this is the rated channel. We're talking about all NFL too as well. But Waller was not going to get traded. I don't think he's going to get traded. I think that you have a chance to get a mega offense here. With Waller, with Renfro, with Devontae Adams, if Brian Edwards comes along as well, they might want to get another wide receiver, all those things like that. So it's pretty crazy how this offense could be. I have a draft crush. We got a question from James from 860 asking about a draft, a guy who you love in this draft for the Raiders. And have you seen Jelani Woods?
No.
Okay. 6'7", like monster tight end. Monster tight end.
Where's
And
he from?
I think it's from Virginia.
Oh yeah,
And
the guy that ran fast at the combine.
yeah, and like
Okay.
and you can't miss him because the guy he wears number 0 in college football, which he stands out. But I can imagine because we on this show, like we talk, we keep it real. We're not, even none of us are big fans of Foster Moreau, whatever. But I think you have a situation where you have him and Waller, that would be ridiculous. Big, he's a blocker, he's a former quarterback. The Eagles, oh boy, the Titans are trading AJ Brown to the Eagles for the 18th pick overall. Wow. The wide receivers continue to move.
I mean, the Titans are a now-win team. Why are you trading AJ Brown? Just pay the man. He's proven to be one of the top 5 to 8 wide receivers in the NFL. He's their best guy. He's an alpha male on that offense. Like that team, from where they were last year, now you don't have Julio Jones, who was hurt, and you don't have AJ Brown. They're not a playoff team. I put the Colts over them.
Yeah, Ryan, I'll tell you one thing too, is like if you're Debo must be going nuts right now. Debo wants out of San Francisco so bad. And he can't. Every receiver who asked to get traded this offseason got traded to a team that's going to give him a big. I mean, that's a really good. I mean, if you're Jalen Hurts, I mean, that's boy. I mean, good for you, cousin. That's a really good. That's a it was always a draft day surprise, always something like that. But that's a great deal. And the funny thing, they have Kelsey on there going crazy.
And we talked about this too when we did our mock draft. When I got to the Titans, I dabbled. Hey, they could be looking at a quarterback this year because you don't know about Tannehill. Is this a rebuilding team? Did they just trade up to 18 to take a quarterback and get in front of the Steelers?
Yeah,
maybe. Well, I'd love to see where they go with this pick. But the Titans, to me, now you're basically. I mean, what do you do with Tannehill moving forward? Like, what do you do with Derrick Henry? What do you do with Jeffrey Simmons? Like, this team's not going to win without any productive wideouts. They don't have any tight ends.
No.
Like, they're Derrick Henry and bust at this point on offense.
Yeah. I mean, as a potential AFC team coming out of playoff picture, I like it. But for them as a team, that's just not a good look. So we'll have to see. I mean, like a young.
If I'm a Colt fan, I love this trade.
Oh, could you imagine? I know, dude. The Colts, you know what? Things, he got the job under weird circumstances.
Frank Reich,
but Frank Reich, but now I feel like he might actually have something with Matt Ryan, with the situation they got going on there now, especially with the Titans are just not going to be as. AJ Brown's a big. I mean, what about if you're Julio Jones who went there to try to win, right? He's not.
He got released. He's not even on the team anymore.
He's not even there anymore. Okay, yeah. So
No,
so now it's like no wide receivers there. Like who's? Oh my gosh, I gotta check the Titans draft.
Who was number 14? Khalif Raymond, their slot guy. Like they have Khalif Raymond, and they have.
Oh my.
Who knows who their tight ends were? Because
I gotta see. Yeah,
Bring up that depth chart.
I gotta bring it up now. Titans.
So the Eagles get Jordan Davis and AJ Brown. That's pretty good. And now you have
that is good. That is really good.
They still have Ray
and the
Titans.
Smith. I want to cut you off, but the Titans have just drafted Traylon Burks.
I'm not on that one. Like I've seen people compare him to AJ Brown. I'm not a big Burks guy.
Okay, so they have Burks. They have Robert Woods. So Burks and Robert Woods got to run it now, and Robert Woods, who we love and fight on, one of my favorite players from SC, but he's also a guy who is coming off an injury. So,
and he's older. He's been around the block now.
Oh man!
And is Burks ready to run routes and get open in the NFL?
I'm not
sure he is.
It's funny. Every highlight we're seeing of Traylon Burks is somebody paying 15 yards off of him. Like he's not a guy who. I mean, like he has to show that he can handle press man in the National Football League. So if he can't handle press man, it's going to be good luck with that. Good luck with that. That's gonna be tough.
I mean, is this
That's
the Titans realizing that they're going to have? They just gave money to Harold Landry. They're going to have to pay Jeffrey Simmons. Obviously, Derrick Henry makes a lot of money. Tannehill makes a lot of money. Are they at the point now where they're like, I'd rather take a rookie quarterback on a 5-year rookie deal than pay $25 million a year for AJ Brown? I'd much rather have AJ Brown. But teams are going to start doing this at this point. I think they're going to start trying to invest in these rookie wide receivers rather than pay them $25 million.
It's amazing. It's amazing that it's amazing to see that. I think it's interesting that that's just an interesting trade. That's an interesting trade, man. Interesting trade. As far as that goes, yeah. I mean, they were gonna be a run first team anyway, but AJ Brown gave you that explosiveness. He gave you that real explosiveness there. To really get things going for you. So it's gonna be tough to see what happens there.
I think the only saving grace here for the Titans is they get to play 4 games with the Jaguars and the Texans. It just kind of helped them in the AFC picture to try to get a wild card. We'll see. Clearly, to me, the Colts are the favorite in the division now.
Yeah, they have to be. I think I'm not saying they can make a jump, but I do like the head coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I just don't like the staff. Like I was kind of turned off by the staff that he put together, that Doug Peterson put together down there in Jacksonville. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens there as far as that goes. I think the Saints are on the clock now. As far
because they didn't trade that pick to move up, so they should still have 19.
Should have 19. One thing, a little pet peeve I have going on in my head. I just like Rich Eisen. I like Rich Eisen a lot. I like the Rich Eisen show. But like this, like it's almost like this kind of recurring thing with him trying to like get the pressure off of Mike Mayock from his tenure with the Raiders. And like, let's just be real. Like Mike Mayock was bad, and he was part of drafting one of the worst draft classes in history. So like, I know we can point out Renfro, we can point out Max Crosby, trading. I think the trading up at the last minute. I think we were on the phone last year, trading text messages back and forth when they were trying to trade up to get Trayvon Walker last year. But it just doesn't compare when you look at all the. I mean, like no matter how you spin it, Ryan, it is his name is attached to a lot of really bad draft picks.
You didn't even mention Farrell or Abram yet either.
I'm trying not to.
Yeah, you can throw a lot of picks. I know Gruden made a lot of these decisions, but he was in the room. He was part of the process, so it goes on his resume whether he likes it or not.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rich Eisen and Mike Mayock were boys going back to their NFL Network days, and clearly every interview I've seen Rich Eisen do while Mayock was with the Raiders and post his tenure with the Raiders, he's always been very supportive of him. And he should get credit for the Crosby and Renfro picks as well. But when you miss picks in the first, second, third round, that sets the depth on your roster way back. And we've seen that affect the Raiders and how they've had to go out into free agency and get a lot of guys the last couple of years to help fill holes. And it's only going to continue because those guys aren't getting second contracts. Most of them there's a couple of them aren't even in the league. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I understand it's your boy, but I think a lot of times in this league, trying to text a couple of buddies who are working the draft today. With that being said, I just feel like this world is people are getting jobs a lot of times because of their boys instead of actually getting jobs because they are they're qualified for it. And he made a lot of comments too. Like he said, hey, I'm gonna AJ Brown gets a 4-year $100 million contract with $57 million guaranteed. Debo
25 we just talked about.
Sorry, Debo. Sorry, man. Sorry.
The Raiders got out in front of all that, and they got Devontae Adams, and they paid him a little bit less than this. So
yes, it worked out. It's
working out for them well.
Raiders, yeah.
Now it's got to work out on the field because they need to win. They need to win playoff games. They don't need to get there. They need to win playoff games.
Yes, that is definitely the case. You can't even can't in any way dispute that at all with the Raiders here. Let's see here. It's going through
Is there a
here.
chance we're looking at one quarterback going in the entire first round here? And what if the Pittsburgh Steelers shock everyone? There might not be a single guy. So we'll see.
It's interesting though. Like I mean, you look at 19. You know what? And with this class, this would be actually good drafting by the National Football League if nobody takes a quarterback in the first round. Like I would actually understand if Pittsburgh excuse me took a quarterback. Everybody would understand it, right? If they did it, but after that, like nobody's taking a quarterback the rest of this draft.
If you're Pittsburgh and Devin Lloyd's sitting there and none of these quarterbacks can be taken, and you know that probably 3 of the 5, if not 4, will get to tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then you could trade up in the second round. It's not going to cost you nearly as much in draft capital. Wouldn't you rather have Devin Lloyd to fill in? Because Devin Bush hasn't played well. They obviously released Joe Sherbert. They have a glaring need at inside linebacker, and you can still get one of these quarterbacks tomorrow. It's going to be interesting to see what happens with that pick here. I think they're up next after the Saints make their pick.
Yeah, the Saints pick is going to be in. The Pains are taking offensive lineman Trevor Penning. Trevor Penning is now a New Orleans Saints.
The tackle.
So there's a tackle there. They get the receiver and then they get the tackle. Out of Northern Iowa too. So wasn't our guy from Northern Iowa last year?
Spencer Brown, yeah.
Spencer Brown, big boy from they getting some offensive line love last couple of years on Northern Iowa here. So so he's a Saint. Now the Steelers are on the clock, and I just, it'd be
got to be
interesting.
Willis, right? Willis or Lloyd is my guess.
Can you trade back in the bottom of the first round with to try to get that 5th year with the Vikings, maybe?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the difference between
Baltimore's got some picks here, but Baltimore's not going to deal with them. But there's teams that probably want to trade into the second round here.
I do like the fact that a lot of some of these really great weapons are off the board with Kansas City sitting there with 2 picks at the end of the first round. I do like. Yeah. I want the number 1 receiver for them to be Juju Smith-Schuster. I want that. Mikael Hartman. Yeah. So who So everybody says he's so.
The way this is lining up, the Chiefs are taking 2 defensive players. It looks like.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to. I mean,
unless they take Sky Moore or Christian Watson
or Trey Matt, and who guys are they're. I mean, people like both of those players. But I'm
sure those picks are for sale too. Like a team that wants a quarterback could probably get one of those 2 picks from the Chiefs.
And think about if you're like, I'm looking at like a team like the Packers who just like, okay, like you got 2 picks, you got the 22nd pick in the draft. Who cares what it costs? Like, why wouldn't you just go up there and just try to get one of these big time receivers? Like, I never know. The pick is in for the not yet. Sorry. They're still on the clock. I thought the pick was in for a second.
So we've had 5 receivers or 6 come off the board.
I
think they've had 5. So you had London, Williams, Olave, Dodson, Burks. There might be 6. There might be another one. I think I'm forgetting one.
Should be interesting. Yeah, we're waiting for this pick here coming through. Questions. Let's see here.
Bleacher Report's about 3 minutes ahead of ESPN, if not more.
Yeah, I love it.
I have it muted, so it's just like flashing on the screen. So you might have to listen to it so you can hear them talk. And I can't.
I can't hear him. I can't hear him talk right now.
Okay.
The 2. Jace wants to know the 2 AFC teams who had the worst offseason.
2 AFC teams that had the worst offseason. I don't know if I want to say the Chiefs.
The Chiefs had a bad one. I'm scared to say that because the Chiefs could still win 12 games because they have Mahomes. I don't love that one. I think Jacksonville. Imagine being Jacksonville, who just didn't have the patience. If they had the patience, they could have had real big time weapons instead of having Zay Jones and Christian Kirk. They could have real big time wide receivers with that quarterback.
Can I say Texans because they came out of this draft with with two guys who I didn't value where they took them, and they don't have Deshaun Watson anymore. I mean, they have the picks moving forward, but
Yeah.
there's not a lot of AFC teams that have had bad off seasons that you can really chalk it up to say these guys are definitely going the wrong direction. Maybe the Titans now after trading AJ Brown.
Exactly. Can you see Trent McDuffie at wide receiver? I mean, cornerback here, Jermaine Johnson here for the Steelers if they don't pick a quarterback. It just I'm just waiting for this one because it kind of just turns the draft here to see if they actually go out and get a quarterback. In this,
you would think if it's a quarterback, they would have ran the pick right in.
Yeah, it got to be something else. It got to be something else. Got to be something else. Got to be something else.
I still think Devin Lloyd fits them here, but I could see Malik Willis. Maybe they take Pickett. I mean, he's the hometown guy. He's from the University of Pittsburgh. He's ready to play. But
Trent McDuffie,
I just don't see him in that weather in Pittsburgh late in the season being that good.
And I say it, Trent McDuffie, the pick is in, I think. Pick is in. Yeah, so what's going to happen with it? It's in now. Trent McDuffie has to be a Patriot too, I swear. I'd be shocked if he isn't. Yep. Is that Kenny? Is that they picked Pickett? Is that Kenny Pickett?
Pickett's
Kenny Pickett. Pickett's the quarterback. The first quarterback taken. Kenny Pickett. They finally did it. From Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh. Panther to Steeler. Kenny Pickett is a Pittsburgh Steeler here. Doesn't have to play right away. Knows what like no
Trubisky.
They have Trubisky. Knows what it's like to play in that weather, so it's not going to be shell shock there. So he doesn't have he has decent wide receivers. We'll see how they go with it. I mean, maybe do they ease him in? If he beats him out in training camp, I can't imagine him beating him out in training camp. But if he does, he does. I thought that if it was going to take a long time for the pick to come in, that it wouldn't be a quarterback, but it is. Kenny Pickett is a Pittsburgh Steeler here.
Yeah, I'm the opposite. I think he is going to play right away because he's the most ready guy to come in. You take him because he can play right away. If you were looking for long-term upside and developmental, you'd probably go Willis. But I don't see you sitting this guy for half the season so you can get 8 games out of Mitchell Trubisky. Who cares? Like, if he's your guy at 8 and he's ready to go, let him play. They have Najee Harris. They're going to play defense. They have some wide receivers. Now, is the offensive line good enough? If you have concerns about the offensive line, then clearly I would start Trubisky early because he's more mobile and he can run around. Although Kenny Pickett's pretty mobile too. I do have concerns.
He can move. So
yeah, I know you said he played in that weather, but they didn't play football in December and January at University of Pittsburgh, where he'll have to do that for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So we'll see when it gets windy in Cleveland or Buffalo. They go on the road or in the playoffs in January with those small hands. If he can still grip the football, if he doesn't turn it over and fumble as much as some other quarterbacks with small hands. We'll see what happens.
Those gloves might have to be a little extra thick. Quarterback. I mean, they only listen. Hey, Kenny, Teddy Two Gloves is not the only quarterback in the league now who's going to be wearing 2 gloves though. So we'll have to
shot their shot though. They took.
You might as well. They could have went Bush there. But like I totally agree. This is not foreign territory for the Steelers either. The Steelers have had a team in the past where they just ran the football and just played a rookie quarterback, right? So why not try it again? Why not try that again with a guy who they feel like they can do that? And he can move around, he can make some plays down the field. So
Now I clearly think just based on the quarterbacks in the division, I mean, you have Deshaun Watson, Joe Burrow, and who am I forgetting the other one? Lamar Jackson. Clearly, he's the 4th guy, and it's not even close. So they're going to take some lumps this year. It's going to take a while for him to get up to speed. Clearly, the roster around them is going to have to be really good to compete with those other quarterbacks in the division. So they're probably looking at 3rd or 4th place this year. What would be my guess if they do play the rookie quarterback, and even if they play Trubisky, they're probably looking at the same thing. I think Cincinnati's a better team than them. They proved it last year by going to the Super Bowl. Baltimore, if Jackson's healthy, is going to be better than them, and we'll see how they match up with Cleveland for that 3rd team in the division.
Yeah, that should be. Yeah, They always find a way, man. It's pretty crazy. I think things kind of either break their way or they just end up finding a way. The Steelers, but they always find a way to kind of get in the mix here. As far as far as that goes, the Steelers are doing a good job. The Steelers always do a good job of making the playoffs, even when they don't seem like they have any chance to make the playoffs or should make the playoffs at all. The Patriots are on the clock. I feel like the player who fits them the best. They lost J.C. Jackson. Trent McDuffie kind of seems like it would be a perfect fit here. We'll see if they grab him coming forward in this draft
I
here.
could see them taking the center from Iowa, Lindenbaum here.
Okay, could be possible as well. They did lose Shaq Mason, who's not a center but a guard to the Buccaneers. So
I think they lost Ted Karras
help as
too.
well.
I want to say they lost their center too.
So we'll see.
But that would be a Belichick thing. Or move down. Maybe this is the run on quarterbacks. Maybe someone wants to trade up to a 21 and Belichick wants picks.
It's funny. Mac Jones would have been the first quarterback taken in the top 10, top 2 pick in this draft if he came out this year. Jeez. Unbelievable stuff here as far as that goes. In the draft, Raiders really didn't have anything for mini camp, right? Just pretty much standard. Yeah, no big news, nothing. Nobody got hurt. Everybody was all good to go as far as
biggest news is probably Derek Carr's haircut. You see that today? He had like a mohawk going on. What was that?
Was that real? Like, is that? I saw.
He was
on
stage today. I thought it was real. I thought I saw it.
Okay, let me see this haircut now. What's Derek? Let's see what Derek working with now. He's feeling himself right now.
Let's make sure you get Fresno days with that haircut.
Let's see what he got with the haircut. This is like a thing here.
So do we got Patriots, Packers, Ravens, I think are the next 3.
I'm interested to see where the Packers go. Trent McDuffie to the Pats. That was just easy. That was just not even.
Pencil that or put that one in with pen. Yeah, I think Green Bay goes linebacker. I think they go with either Nakobe Dean or Lloyd. I don't like any of the wide receivers here for them at 22.
Who's left? Who's left at wide receiver? How could they just sit there and not?
Watson and Sky Moore, probably the next 2.
It's amazing, dude. This team is amazing. How they just don't even. They just don't even. I mean, it's just unbelievable to me how they just ignore that glaring weakness that they're gonna have on this. It's just amazing to me. They're gonna have that. We'll see what's left here.
So Bleacher Report here is basically just following everyone on Twitter and finding the first blue check mark to announce the pick, and then they go right to it. I remember when the NFL got away from that a couple of years ago. They didn't want anyone leaking picks, and then this year they're leaking them all over the place. So
yeah. Oh, so that's not giving me who's left. Premature Patriots traded out. Oh, Michael Silver got burned. Got burned.
Oh, so they
got burned.
Are we going to see another quarterback?
They traded with the Chiefs. The Chiefs have the number 21st pick now. Wow. They Michael Silver got a little bit of a rating.
Where are the Chiefs going?
The Chiefs.
I'm thinking they're going defense here.
They got to go defense. Maybe that defensive tackle from Georgia.
He looked good next to Chris Jones and Frank Clark.
Yeah, he would, but I don't want to see it. Why couldn't you?
They went Nick Bolton last year, but they could use another linebacker. Maybe they take the safety from Georgia.
Yeah. Let's see, and then we got Jim Pickens in. That was quick. Let's see what happens.
Was this the pick they got for Tyreek Hill?
Yeah, looks like it. Because this is the Dolphins' first round pick. It has to be. Booth. They got Jermaine. Let's see. This is. Throw it on the screen. Huh? They took
No, I said, what if they did?
No, they took. Yeah. It's just funny that I love it. they're still waiting. The pick is in, but they're still waiting to kind of show it to us.
Who's the
Put on
Backstreet
Raiders.
Boy looking guy on a Bleacher Report?
Connor. That's my dog right there.
That's
Connor.
Connor?
He got the Jesus piece. He got a Jesus piece out there. He's just like a little boy band dude. I can't.
That's what he looks like.
Yeah, he looks like. I just love that he has like everything on everybody. I love it though. He's pretty good. He's pretty sharp. He's pretty sharp. I don't see what the heck.
I don't want to release this pick, huh? So they
what's
got
going on? The pick is in
29, 94, and 121. So they got that's good value for the Patriots to trade down here to get 94 and 121.
And the Patriots just went to the 29 right now. So yeah. And obviously, it must be somebody who maybe they felt like they had to get in front of Baltimore and Green Bay,
which would lead me to believe it's
Albert Breer.
Lloyd.
Yeah, Albert Breer. So yeah, it's just Miss McDuffie. So
they needed a corner to match up in that division, and then they lost Ward. I want to say he went to the 49ers.
He did go to 49ers.
Yeah.
This guy's a good player. I mean, I'm not going to sit there and try to sugarcoat that. Trey McDuffie's a really good player, really good tackler. The only thing is he's 5'11". But he plays bigger than that. Like he'll come up and pop you and play and just and let you know about it too. Like he's a very smart, instinctive player, very good in coverage. So he helps a secondary there because he's going to need the help. I mean, he's going to need the help. And plus, in this division, you look at the three teams in the division. I mean, we got there's receivers galore. So the Chiefs are trying to match that up, and I think the Chiefs are going to try to do it a different way. And that's why I wonder if the Chiefs are going to run the ball a little bit because they're going to have to. They might go defense again with this next pick coming up because they have to match up with what's going on with the rest of the division.
I don't think Andy Reid's going to run the ball. I don't see him doing that.
If you get 3 and outs, man, against these offenses, man, I mean, I agree with you. It goes totally against everything he believes in as a human being. I totally understand because that's what he does. But I mean, you might want to think about it if you're Andy Reid. You might want to think about this a little bit. I want to think about just a little bit as far as that goes. I don't know about the comparison between Logan Ryan and G. Alexander. Maybe that's a little much, but we'll see. We'll see about that.
Definitely going to need to be good because they just traded Tyreek Hill for him. So,
well, will be the Tyreek Hill of cornerbacks? That's the question. That's the question. Will he be that good? Will he be that good? That's interesting here. Put on Raiders podcast. Dwayne Douglas, Ryan Holmes, talking a little NFL draft. We're doing a live show here, just kind of going back and forth and talking about some of these picks. Raiders are on the clock tomorrow, right? It's the second and third round next year, and then the next, or unless they could be on
third round.
Third round.
Pick 86.
So they break it up, right? So tomorrow just the second round. Tomorrow the second and third round.
It's second and third, and then Saturday is 4 through 7.
Okay, there you go.
So they'll pick tomorrow.
I'll pick tomorrow.
Marcus Allen's announcing the pick. I think I read that somewhere.
Okay. Well, once he got along with one Davis, not Mark, not Al, because he's around a whole lot now. Pick is in for the Pack. Pick is in. That was the Raiders pick. So let's see what pick they have to replace Devontae Adams. So we'll see what they have picked. They have picked to pick Devontae Adams here.
They could use an edge rusher. They did lose, or one of the Zadarius Smith they released. So
they lost one.
I'm thinking it's I think it's either Johnson or Devin Lloyd. We'll see.
They're gonna go defense again.
I think it's a reach here. You got to take the best player.
I know. I would have never sat here like this. I would have never sat here and done this. There's no way. Never in a million years would I have sat here and just watch all these receivers go. Yep.
Need Bleacher Report to pick it up here.
Slow down a little bit. Quaway Walker, linebacker, Georgia is a new.
They took Quay Walker.
Quay Walker. They took Quay Walker.
Really, he's the first linebacker off the board.
Interesting. Over Devin
That would
Lloyd.
be over Nakobe Dean.
Yeah.
Yeah, they traded Devontae Adams and then reached for a linebacker. Not ideal for the Green Bay Packers.
Boy.
Aaron Rodgers has got to be ecstatic right now.
Well, he signed the contract. He didn't have to sign it. So
He's got 50 million reasons to be happy. So
yeah, so
I don't think he's worried about it.
I don't think he's worried about it. And he still has that. He still has a ring, so he's not going to sweat it too much. So this is one. He can get. He can. It's the defense in Georgia was great last year. It was great last year. So we all know that. So some people people getting poached off that defense in the draft. You could definitely see that happening. I'm just surprised that it's right now, as far as when you get what a team needs, and they feel like that's the best player on their draft, so they just went and grabbed them. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens as far as that goes. Let's see here. Questions. Let's see if we got any questions here.
And we're gonna get into a spot here with some teams that need offensive linemen, like the Cowboys and the Buccaneers. And they don't really need centers. The interior two guys that we thought would go in the first round, Green and Johnson, are already off the board. The 4 tackles are off the board. So it'll be interesting to see what those teams do.
Mm-hmm. AJ Green. AJ
Brown.
AJ Brown. Wow. Behind the McDuffie, McDonald's, sausage McMuffin, doesn't matter. Devontae Adams all day. Good tweet behind the eye patch. I like that one. Good job with
Sausage
that one.
McMuffin sounds good right now.
Man,
I'm a big breakfast any time of the day guy.
Yeah, me too. And I am I love breakfast any time of the day. Do they have a what was that restaurant called? Breakfast Republic, where you live?
No, I've never heard of that.
Oh, if you're ever down here again, then Breakfast Republic out in Carlsbad. Oh my god, Encinitas. Oh my god, so good, so good. I'm on keto, so I can't. So I had you never realize how much you almost feel like a crack fiend, like how much of a withdrawal you have from like carbs. I had my headache was killing me like the other day. As far as that one goes, that was crazy. Let's see here. Shout out to
Bills. Bills just traded.
Was this traded? Bills moved up?
Yep.
Oh, it smokes the Bills. God damn it.
Bills are coming up. That's got to be defense here. They need linebackers on that team.
AFC, just stop. God, just stop doing stuff. Jeez. AFC is just continuing to do stuff.
They could use a corner. They could use a linebacker. I think they're pretty set on the defensive line.
They can use a game coach for the last 30 seconds of games in the playoffs. Jesus.
Yeah.
Cost them a championship ring, man.
They could use a slot receiver. Sounds like did they release Beasley? I know he was on the market. I think they released
Beasley's gone. Beasley's gone.
Yeah, so maybe I don't think Christian Watson fits that mold. Maybe Sky Moore. Maybe there's a guy they like. I think this is a defensive pick though here. They like those big ends, so maybe Johnson fits here. I'm surprised he's still on the board.
This is a good pass rusher.
Or they could go Devontae Wyatt.
Either one, yeah. And they just re-upped Ed Oliver for the 5th-year option.
But if you don't love him and you don't want to pay him, you bring him back on the 5th-year option. You draft Devontae Wyatt, and then you let him go as a free agent. You already have your replacement in house.
You are correct, sir. Who's left that corner right now? Is there a corner that they love?
Elam's still out there.
Florida.
Booth is still out there.
Yeah.
Gordon, if you like him from Washington, still out there.
They took it. They took Elam.
They did.
Well, maybe they did. Michael Silver said it, so maybe it didn't happen.
I remember. Hold on. Yeah, they need a corner. Like I said, they need defense here, so wouldn't surprise me. I like Elam. He has the physical traits. Now, his technique needs help, but you have Tre'Davious White on that defense. You have Poyer at safety. You have Micah Hyde. So he fits what they want. He's a big, long corner that can play press. And if he can get his technique up to speed and he's across from White, that's two pretty good corners.
The Eagles, okay. The Eagles, this is from Field Yates. The Eagles turned Carson Wentz into an extra first-round pick and then turned an extra first-round pick into A.J. Brown.
Pretty good trade if you could trade Wentz for Brown.
God. No, you know.
I wish the Raiders could do smart things like that.
Well, listen, give them a chance this year.
Hopefully, this is the front office that does it.
The front office is. I'm kind of interested to see how they navigate through the second and third round. I can't foresee them going into, this draft and try to get in the first round. But yeah, I totally agree.
No.
I totally agree.
Yeah, you would think they probably have 3 or 4 offensive linemen lined up in the third round they like. Maybe there's one they want to come up to the second to get. Maybe they trade a future pick from next year's draft. The Raiders have to target an offensive lineman, whether that's a guard or a tackle. There's probably someone out there their new line coach likes.
Maybe a couple.
We'll see.
Maybe a couple. You never know. But I'm just telling you, man. Jelani.
I think linebacker too.
Woods and Waller, man. Woods and Waller. That guy is a absolute monster. He's an absolute monster. I would love it. I would absolutely go cuckoo for that pick.
So we have the Cowboys now.
The Cowboys. Let's see. Here's going.
What's Jerry gonna do? Who's the most famous guy left? That's what Jerry likes to do.
Yes, I agree. I agree. John Q, who's watching us on YouTube Live, said, "I'd rather have Devontae Adams over Quay Walker." And we concur.
Yeah, I would too.
We concur.
I would take him over 10 Quay Walker.
Yes.
And I like Quay Walker, but he's not Devontae Adams.
Yeah, not Devontae Adams. Somebody asked me a fantasy question about that, and I was just like, I was like, I don't know. I mean, like the ball's gonna be spread out with the Raiders, so I don't know. It's gonna be a lot. I think in the red zone, they should be better, and it's gonna be a lot of Waller, a lot of Adams. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Also they like to run the football too, so and you get him behind a good defensive, a good offensive line. The breaking tackle ability of Josh Jacobs should really make them a pretty good, red zone team. But that's where they gotta get better. Red zone defense, red zone offense. That'll be difference between them. The difference between them maybe winning a division or not being a wild card and playing on the road.
So I'll give you some scout terms here. So like when I'm at a game and there's a player like let's Quay Walker, we'll just use him as an example. Like not good or bad against Quay Walker, but if another scout asks me like, hey, what do you think of Quay Walker? Like if you don't really like him and you want him to go a little higher, you just say, he's a good player. Like when a scout, if you're at a ball park and you ask them, they say the guys, and they go, he's a good player. That means they don't like him. So he asked me Quay Walker, yeah, he's a good player. He's a good player. Like that means I like him. I don't like him anywhere near where they took him. But yeah, it's kind of, especially with the baseball draft coming up, I'm around a lot of guys right now. So I was at a game not too long ago and the scout said, he's a good player. I knew exactly what he meant.
There you go.
That means you can have him.
You learn something new every day. That's funny. That is funny. Yeah, I learned that terminology. Yeah, so you probably learn that the hard way too sometimes. So, I thought he liked that player. Oh yeah, he didn't like that player. Now I see the trend.
Flying season in baseball too.
Yes. Oh yeah. Without question. Look at Richard Sherman.
All right, Cowboys, do something here.
We're gonna slide off a little bit after that. Let me see what pick. So let's see what pick we'll kind of call it quits on. The Cowboys. We'll see what the Titans do. See if we can hang around until the Titans, maybe. Or if not, if we can't, that's fine. So the Cowboys are going to do here. The Cowboys have a lot of different ways they can go. As far as that goes, they lost the pass rusher to the Buccaneers. The Broncos, Randy Gregory. Do they try to replace him? Do they try to get a formidable one with Micah? To get Micah on one side, Jermaine Johnson on the other side.
I
Do
could see
something like
Devin Lloyd
that.
here too. Obviously, they lost Jalen Smith last year. They let him go. Van Der Esch has always had been a medical risk, and then they just brought him back on a 1-year deal. If they want to drop Parsons down into a pass rushing more role, they have a
Yeah,
chance here with 2 linebackers with Nakobe Dean and obviously Devin Lloyd there to fill that hole. They lost Amari Cooper. They could use an offensive lineman. I don't think there's any here that really fit that bill unless they want to reach for the Central Michigan guy.
Mhm.
I don't even know how to say his name. But yeah, to me, I think they need to go linebacker.
Yeah. It's funny. So we were talking earlier about Mayock and Rich Eisen and Mayock, right? You want to read the 2000? You want to read the Raiders list of free agents who are without a team right now?
It's
They're on
pretty much
the
all of them.
they're on the team last year, but they're without a team right now. So Darius Philon, Peyton Barber, Desmond Trufant, Derek Carrier, Gerald McCoy, Nick Martin, Deshaun Jackson, Richie Incognito, KJ Wright, Jalen Richard, Nick Kwiatkowski, and Carl Nassib.
That's most of them.
That's a lot, dude.
And that's what happens when you miss on your draft picks. You're filling
Oof.
holes with older veterans, and now they're a year older and they're out on the market, and teams are going to wait. There's going to be guys that sign before training camp, early in training camp, when teams have injuries or realize that they're short or they lack depth at certain positions. But I guess Daxton Hill's still out there. That's another guy, but I could see Jermaine Johnson here too. I could see Jermaine Johnson, one of the linebackers, going to the Cowboys. They could use a safety though. Daxton Hill, I forgot that he was still out there too.
I think I would go. I would go edge, man. It's all about getting to the quarterback. I'm gonna go edge. Give me an edge. You lost the edge. Give me another. Give me an edge. They have a guy who they killed it last year for him. Parsons did a great job for them. So let's see if they see what they do here as far as that goes.
Dexter Lawrence hasn't been as productive the last couple of seasons as he was before he got that big contract. So how much longer is Dexter Lawrence going to be a Dallas Cowboy? So Jermaine Johnson is still sitting there.
Let's see.
There's some upset guys sitting in that green room they just showed on ESPN.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, somebody. I mean, some of those quarterbacks. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure who did that for him, because it just seemed like it would be a bad look for them, in my opinion. It would not look like this is not a draft where I thought. I think the team did a good job. They did not reach for quarterback. I think they showed like real restraint in doing that. So I'm good for them. I thought that was a good job. That was a great job.
So you didn't see any Jake Locker, no Christian. Who was the Florida State guy that went to the Raiders? Christian Ponder, EJ Manuel. Like, you didn't see those guys go in the top 15, 16?
Christian Ponder.
Oh,
God.
Went 12th, I want to say.
Jeez Louise, Christian Ponder.
All right, the Cowboys pick is in. They just showed both linebackers on ESPN, so maybe they know something we don't. So we'll see where they go.
Let's see what Connor got.
Baltimore just keeps trading down, and these guys are just falling right to them, like it happens every year for the Ravens.
It's funny. Michael Lombardi thinks they draft terribly.
The Ravens?
Yeah, pretty funny.
I think they draft fine overall.
Tyler Smith to the Cowboys.
The tackle. Oh, so they go offensive line.
Well, they lost him.
He was probably in that next group from Tulsa. Probably in the next group of offensive linemen. So it might be a reach here at 24. But if they needed an offensive lineman, it's not a bad choice.
And then they have that, and then also they lose Collins, right? They lost Collins to the Bengals.
I think they released Collins, and I want to say Connor Williams, also their interior lineman that was from Texas, was a free agent. And then Smith from USC, the left tackle, Tyrone Smith, he's been hurt a lot lately, and he's older too. So they need depth on that offensive line.
Yeah,
you got to protect Dak Prescott. You have to keep him healthy.
Yeah, I mean they are the most talented team in the division. the Eagles are right on the trail though. So I mean, I like you have to like the way that the Eagles finished that season last year. They played pretty well and they made the playoffs last year. There and so we'll have to see if you know if Jalen Hurts can really sling it. We're waiting to see him sling it. I mean, if you play defense and you force him to throw the ball 40 times, can he beat you in that game? I think now that's the game we're waiting to see if he can do that. And so
Well, he's
we'll
got no
see.
excuses now. He has AJ Brown, Devonta Smith, Quaz Watkins, and Jalen Rager still there, and he has Dallas Goddard. So he has weapons.
Yeah. And he ran the ball well last year, so I mean, it's just all about he'll put the. I mean, we all know he'll put the work in, but we gotta see what he can do as far as that goes. I am after the Ravens go, we're gonna head off the podcast here. Let you guys enjoy the rest of the draft. Thank you for you can watch. This is just a kind of a quick way of getting this show done rather than doing it, recording it, taping it, editing it, and then everything that happened as far as that goes. But we have the Baltimore Ravens coming up next. We'll see what happens. See what they do next here. They got needs of linebacker, edge, defensive line, and then cornerback. They also have a new defensive coordinator as well. So we'll see what happens. See what happens there.
Yeah, they did try to sign Zadarius Smith. Something happened with the contract where it didn't go through. So this is a spot where they like those big 3-4 defensive ends, those bigger guys. I could see Jermaine Johnson, who's still out there.
Can he stand up?
Two inside linebackers.
Can he stand up? Or
in their scheme, I think he can. They've Matt Judon was another bigger guy that they used kind of in that same position.
So the Ravens,
they did bring back Calais Campbell. They have Patrick Queen on the inside. They're going to have to pay him soon. So I don't know if they go Devin Lloyd. They're probably looking more for an edge rusher, an outside guy that can bring pressure off the edge here.
Tulsa getting some love. Didn't they have that linebacker come out of Tulsa a couple years ago?
Last year, Collins, he went to the Cardinals.
Cardinals, yeah, right. Tulsa. Waiting for the Ravens pick here on the Raiders podcast here. And then we're going to sign off after the Ravens pick. Talk about the Ravens pick and we'll move on. Let's see here. Wow. What is Debo thinking?
He wants his $100 million too.
He does. He does. Pick Six is reporting that Hollywood Brown got traded to Cardinals.
Really?
Is that
Lamar Jackson loses deep threat?
I haven't seen that anywhere yet besides Pick Six. Pick Six is usually a pretty reputable. It's not like one of those fake sites. It says be a rap sheet. So you got it's rap sheet.
It makes sense though, because are you going to pay him $25 million a year? Because that's the going rate on the market. I don't think he's worth anything close to that.
Let me hit Twitter up real quick and see if that's interesting. See if Rap Sheet has that a Rap Sheet tweet.
The Cardinals have D-Hop, who's getting older. AJ Green was towards the end of his career last year. Isabella didn't work out there. That Christian Kirk isn't there anymore, so they could use another weapon outside.
I've not seen that yet. I'm not.
I could see the Ravens here taking Ojabo too, taking the injured guy, trying to get him back later in the season because he fits exactly what they need off the edge.
Hold on one second. What did he say?
Around his knee. He was bow-legged until high school.
Nope, that's not it. I gotta wait to see if that one is real. I don't know if that one's. I mean, usually they're pretty good. It's not like, huh? Wait to see if that one's interesting. That'll be ending with a bang here. I mean, the Cardinals should just like blanket get off the pot when it comes to Kyler Murray. You're gonna pay him anyway. Just pay him and get done with it. You're not trading that guy. So he has you where you want and where he wants you. Yeah, there's no way. I'm still waiting
Ravens
for
going to trade again. They're going to go all the way down to the end here, huh?
Is that what it says? It's a trade there?
There's 3 minutes left on the clock, so it's ticking away.
This is I gotta see this somewhere else before.
Your guy Connor on Bleacher Report's on his cell phone right now looking for something.
Yeah, he's like kind of doing his thing. Backstreet back again.
Yeah, more maybe an in-sync feel to him.
I know. It's on ESPN. It's on ESPN and on NBC Sports. So Hollywood Brown is now a Cardinal, and Hollywood Brown is now a Cardinal, and the 23rd pick overall. So the Ravens received the 23rd pick. So
23rd.
23rd.
They traded down. They
traded down. So it's 25th.
They traded to Buffalo. Yeah.
So Hollywood Brown has been traded to the Cardinals, and it's everywhere now. So
okay.
Wow.
Again, the teams are going to have to make decisions. Do you want to pay that kind of money to a wide receiver if he's not a dominant number one lead wide receiver? Yeah. I'm not paying him $25 million a year. I'll go get a rookie for a fraction of that cost.
They lost Christian Kirk as well in the draft,
and AJ Green.
So yeah,
and Isabella, I want to say, is not there either. So they really just had Hopkins left.
Yeah, but they need a guy who's just going to be a chain mover too. Like, they can't, and that's the problem with that offense. But maybe they use. I forget.
Zach Ertz is there.
I was going to say, they have the tight end who had a really good year last year. Once he got traded, so we'll see. That's interesting there. Brown and Murray played the hard. Yep, they're showing on Bleacher Report now. The Ravens take Tyler Linderbaum with the
center.
With the center, 25th pick in the draft. So guy was the best center in the nation, and he goes to the Baltimore Ravens here. Interesting. They haven't mentioned that trade yet on Bleacher Report, but it's everywhere. So that trade definitely happened as far as that goes. So Hollywood Brown goes to the desert. Good to reunite with his college quarterback. Cool.
All right.
Interesting. So the draft is as filled with surprises as usual. Trades and things like that. We'll be back next week to kind of break all that stuff down and talk about what the Raiders did in this draft on the USC podcast. We talk about the spring game, talk about the offense defense going forward, things like that. As far as that goes, there's still transfer portal stuff going on there as well. I'm trying to meet up with Caleb Williams because I could use some new beats. I guess he got the whole team beats because that's where his NIL deal is. So shout out to him taking care of his teammates there on USC. But put on waivers network, the Student Body Right podcast, and then this one here, the Put on Raiders podcast. Ryan, thank you again. I know it's been an eventful night. We'll see you next week, man. Take care.
All right, take care. Go Raiders.
Go Raiders.